Lesson 2.1 Statement and Argument. Let's start things off with something fun and totally relatable. Picture this. You're hanging out with two friends at a cafe, drinking coffee and chatting about technology. Suddenly, the discussion turns into a heated debate. Friend A claims smartphones are way better than laptops. Friend B disagrees instantly. What? No way. Laptops are way more powerful. Now you are stuck in the middle of this war of words. Friend A says smartphones are better because you can carry them anywhere. Friend B shoots back. That's nonsense. Laptops have a bigger screen and keyboard. You can actually get work done. And as you listen to both sides, you realize something. They both kind of make sense. But who is actually right? This, my friend, is what statement and argument is all about. Every time people argue, they throw in their opinions to support or oppose an idea. And your job is to figure out which argument makes logical sense and which one is just an emotional fluff. What is statement and argument? Let's break it down in simple words. In verbal reasoning, you'll be given a statement, which is just a sentence expressing a thought, fact, or opinion. Then you will see arguments, that is, statement meant to support or challenge the main idea. Let's look at an example. Statement is, online shopping is better than offline shopping. Now you might see arguments like, argument 1, yes, because online shopping saves time and offers discount. Argument 2, no, because I don't like scrolling on my phone. The first one gives solid reason, time and discount. That's logic. What about the second one? That is just a personal dislike, and your task is to spot the arguments and reject the weak ones. Alright, how do you actually tell if an argument is strong or weak? Let's think of it like a boxing match. Strong arguments have one thing in common. They are based on facts, logic, or commonly accepted ideas. They directly support or oppose the given statement. They make you think, yeah, that actually makes sense. Now, what about the weak arguments? They rely on emotions and not logic. They go off topic or feel vague. They use extreme words like always or never, but without any proof. Now, watch out. Exam love to trick you with arguments that sound strong but really aren't. Here are a few common traps. Number 1. Emotional arguments. This is unfair. It should be banned. Sounds passionate, right? But it has no reasoning. Number 2. Vague claims. Everyone thinks so. Who is everyone here? No details, no logic. Off-topic arguments. We should use solar energy because trees are green. Wait, what? That doesn't even match the topic. Let's wrap this up with a clear exam-ready strategy. Whenever you get a statement and argument question, read the statement carefully. Understand the issue being raised. Number 2, read the argument. Is it logical, fact-based, or related to the topic? Number 3, eliminate emotional, vague, or off-topic answers. Number 4, pick the argument that sounds like it could be backed up by reason. That's it. With a little practice, you will start spotting arguments instantly. And that's what we are going to do now. Let's solve some practice problems together. Practice problem 1. Here is the statement we are going to evaluate. Should schools make physical education, that is sport, a compulsory subject? Now, this one brings back the childhood memories, doesn't it? Some students loved soccer or football practice. Others just want to sit in the library or skip the heat altogether. But in verbal reasoning, our goal is not to say what we personally feel. We are here to analyze how strong or weak the argument are. Let's go through each one carefully. Argument 1. Yes, because physical activity helps improve focus and discipline. This argument immediately brings in logical and educational benefit. It says physical activity improves focus and discipline. Let's pause and think. Does this apply only to a few students? No. Is this based on emotions or preference? No. Is it socially accepted fact? Absolutely. Focus and discipline are traits we try to build through academic, time management, classroom rules, and yes, physical training. Sports help students develop routines, handle wins and losses, and stay mentally alert. All of these skills are transferable to studies and real life. That makes this a strong argument. It supports the statement using clear, general benefit that is logically sound and relevant to the topic. So argument 1 is strong. Argument 2. No, because some students don't like playing sports. At first, this may sound fair. Some students genuinely don't enjoy sports. But let's take a step back. Ask yourself, does a student's dislike automatically make something unnecessary or wrong for everyone else? Imagine if someone said, math should not be a compulsory because some students don't like it. Will that sound reasonable? Probably not. Education decisions, especially when it comes to a compulsory subject, are based on what benefits more students, not personal feelings. This argument is limited, emotional, and lacks logical reasoning. It doesn't challenge the idea of sports using facts, data, or wider viewpoint. So even though it might sound relatable, it's too subjective to be a valid argument. So argument 2 is weak. Argument 3. Yes, because exercise is good for health. Now here's a classic example of fact-based justification. It says sports should be compulsory because exercise is good for health. That's a scientifically supported, universally accepted truth. No emotional appeal, no opinion, just a strong, straightforward reason that applies to every student regardless of what they like or dislike. Think of how schools promote hygiene, balanced diet, and mental well-being. Making sports compulsory fits into the same idea, building healthy habits through education. So, this argument gives us another broad, logical reason to support the statement. So, argument 3 is strong. Argument 4. No, because my cousin was injured in a football match. And now we have entered into emotional territory. This one talks about a specific personal incident. Someone's cousin got hurt in a football match. Let's look at it critically. Yes, sports can sometimes cause injuries, but can we use a single case to create a national school policy? That's like saying we should stop cooking classes because someone just cut their finger. Policies should be based on data, trends, and long-term benefits, not one-off events. So even though we empathize with the cousin situation, the reasoning is too narrow, emotional, and personal to be considered a strong argument. So argument 4 is weak. Let's wrap this up. We are not here to choose what we agree with personally. We are here to ask which arguments are logically strong, widely applicable, and directly connected to the statement. And the answer is argument 1 because it highlights focus and discipline, and argument 3 because it presents a universal health benefit. So our correct answer is only argument 1 and 3 are strong. This is how you tackle statement and argument questions like a reasoning champion. You don't just read the surface, you weigh logic and relevance. Practice problem 2. Alright, future civil servants and logical thinkers. This one is a classic from the media and democracy category. Let's begin with the statement. Should newspaper publish negative news about the government policies? So the real issue here is this. Should the media be allowed to criticize the government and report its failures publicly? Whenever you get a question like this, especially involving freedom of speech, press, or governance, that's one golden rule. Strong arguments are built on democratic principles, logic, and public interest, while weak arguments often rely on emotions, image management, and subjective feelings. Let's now break down each argument in detail. Argument A. Yes, because people have the right to know about government failures. This is a powerful argument, and here is why. First, it appeals to a fundamental democratic right, that is, the right to information. When a government makes mistakes, hides data, or implements policies that fail, people need to know. That's how they make better decisions, ask questions, and hold power accountable. This argument isn't emotional. It's not about blame. It's about transparency. So yes, argument A is strong because it supports the public's right to stay informed even when the news isn't pretty. Argument B. No, because negative news reduces people's trust in the government. Hmm, this one sounds convincing at first, right? But let's dig deeper. This is an emotion based argument. It assumes that trust in the government is more important than truth. But in a democracy, trust should come from performance, not from positive image management. If something negative has happened, hiding it won't help. The media isn't a public relation team. It's a watchdog and not a cheerleader. So despite sounding polished, argument B is weak. Argument C. Yes, because free press ensures transparency in democracy. This is another solid principle based judgment. A free press is considered the fourth pillar of democracy, right alongside the legislature, executive, and judiciary. Newspapers, news channels, and online platforms have a job to inform citizens even when the truth is uncomfortable. This argument is not emotional, not vague, and definitely not off topic. It supports the core value of democracy, so argument C is absolutely strong. Argument D. No, because positive news helps maintain national unity. Sounds patriotic, but think about it. Does hiding the truth really promote unity? Or does it lead to bigger problems when people eventually find out the truth? This argument is built on flawed assumption that unity comes only from hearing good news. That's not how mature societies work. So no, argument D is weak because it favors appearance over reality. Let's recap. Argument A is strong because it is right to information. Argument B is weak because it is emotion based. Argument C is strong because it's democracy and press freedom. And argument D is weak because it is based on image and not logic. So our correct answer is option B. Only argument A and C are strong. So remember, when judging arguments in exams or even in real life, always ask, does this make sense to everyone? Or is it just based on personal feeling or fear? And with that, we are ready for the next question. Practice problem 3. Let's begin with the statement. Should school ban the use of mobile phones inside classrooms? Now, before we look at the arguments, pause and ask yourself, what kind of question is this? It's a policy based decision, something that affects all students in a classroom setting. That means your job is not to agree or disagree emotionally. Instead, you must judge each argument based on educational value and real world impact. Let's go through the arguments one by one. Argument A. Yes, because mobile phones distract students from studies. This one hits the mark right away. Distraction is one of the most common concerns in classroom today. Think about it. If a phone buzzes during a lecture, or even one student checking their screen can break the focus of an entire row. Games, messages, and social media apps, all of them are designed to grab attention, not build concentration. This argument is directly connected to the statement and offers a logical and fact based reason. So, yes, argument A is strong. Argument B. No, because some students use mobile phones for learning. Now, this one takes a different angle, and it's surprisingly strong. In today's digital age, many students use their phones for genuine academic work, looking up meanings, translating words, solving math problems, even use learning apps or attending online lectures. The key word here is some, which shows this is not an emotional rejection of the ban, but a valid perspective that acknowledges real usage. And it challenges the idea that banning phones will benefit everyone equally. So, yes, argument B is also strong. Argument C. Yes, because banning phones will improve students' discipline. Another strong one. This argument focuses not just on distraction, but on classroom behavior, which is a huge part of teachers' daily challenge. Removing mobile phones from the classroom could reduce texting, gaming, and even recording teachers without permission. And the logic is sound, less temptations, less misbehavior. So, yes, argument C is strong too. Argument D. No, because banning anything always leads to rebellion. And here comes the wild card. At first, it sounds bold and dramatic, but if you look closely, this argument falls apart on logic. It uses the word always, and that's the red flag in reasoning. Saying that every ban leads to rebellion is overgeneralization. Schools ban cheating, yet students don't start a protest. This argument is too vague, too emotional, and not supported by facts. So no, argument D is weak. Let's quickly recap again. A is strong because it's distraction from studies. B is strong, that is learning benefits. C is strong, improved discipline. And D is weak, overgeneralized emotional claim. So the correct answer is option D. Only argument A, B, and C are strong. Practice problem 4. Should the government make it mandatory for all medical graduates to serve in rural areas for a year after completing their education? This is a real debate in many countries and requires you to balance citizen rights, national need, and policy impact. So let's dissect the arguments one by one. Argument A. Yes, because rural areas lack medical facilities and this policy will ensure healthcare access for all. This argument hits at the heart of the issue. It directly addresses why such government rule might be proposed in the first place. Think about the reality. Many rural or tribal areas suffer from a lack of basic medical care. In some villages, even a fever or small injury becomes life-threatening because there is no doctor nearby. This argument appeals to social welfare, access to healthcare, and equity, making sure every citizen, no matter where they live, gets basic medical attention. It doesn't rely on emotion, it is based on the actual healthcare gap that exists in many countries. This is a strong and highly relevant argument. Argument B. No, because forcing someone to work in rural areas violates their freedom of profession. Now we are stepping into a constitutional layer of reasoning. This argument isn't just saying it's not fair, it is invoking a fundamental right. In many countries, the Constitution guarantees the right to practice any profession or carry out any occupation. So when the government mandates rural service, it raises an ethical and legal debate. How far can the state go in controlling your professional life, even if it's for public good? This argument is strong not because it opposes the idea, because it presents a valid concern about individual rights and autonomy. So, yes, this is also a strong, logic based argument grounded in real world implications. Argument C. Yes, because it will teach doctors empathy and social responsibility. Okay, this one is well meaning, but we need to pause and ask, is this the right kind of reasoning for a government policy? The goal of such policy isn't to build character, it's to provide medical services for those who lack access. Yes, working in rural areas might develop empathy, but that's a personal growth outcome, not a justification for public policy. This argument feels emotion driven rather than logic driven. It talks about what doctors might feel instead of what rural communities might gain. In exams, we need to avoid picking statements that sound noble but don't directly support the policy's intent. So this argument is weak. Argument D. No, because many doctors plan to move abroad and this will delay their career goals. This one is tricky, not because it is complex, but because it sounds practical. But here's the thing. Public policy isn't built to suit personal career timelines. Just like students can't say, don't hold exams because they delay my vacations, doctors can't say, don't make me serve in rural areas, it affects my overseas plan. It's not a logical or principle based objection. It's an individual inconvenience, not a flaw in the policy. And that's what makes it weak. Good arguments are those that apply to all, not just a few. So argument D fails the test. So after careful evaluation, our correct answer is option A and B only. Practice problem 5. We have all heard of AI in phones, finance, and even self driving cars. But what if we told you that AI is being explored for court decisions too? That's right. Some experts believe algorithms could soon help decide court cases, manage trials, or even deliver judgments. Today's statement asks a tough question. Should artificial intelligence be allowed to make decisions in legal courts? Let's analyze each argument. Argument A. Yes, because AI can process data faster and eliminate human bias. This is a strong argument, and here is why. It touches two real issues. Number one, speed. Courts have massive backlogs. AI could process hundreds of files and legal precedents in seconds. Number two, bias. Human judges can be influenced by prejudice or emotions. AI promises objectivity. This argument is fact based, relevant to the statements, and addresses core legal system flaws. So, argument A is strong. Argument B. No, because relying on AI removes human judgment and empathy from legal decisions. Now, that's an important objection. Imagine a sentencing case involving a poor man who stole food for his starving children. Will you trust a machine to understand that context? This argument raises moral and emotional concerns, but it's not just emotional, it's philosophically grounded. The justice system isn't just about the laws, it's about the human fairness. AI lacks human understanding of intent, remorse, and compassion. So, argument B is also strong. Argument C. Yes, because judges are often overworked and AI can help reduce the burden. This one sounds practical, but let's examine it carefully. Yes, judges are overworked, but does that justify handing over legal power to machines? This argument focuses on administrative case, not justice delivery. It's not about whether AI should make legal decisions, just that it could help ease the workload. It's weak because it doesn't directly support the core idea in the statement, should AI make decisions? So argument C is weak. Argument D. No, because the public may lose trust in justice system run by machines. This is a subtle but very relevant point. Even if AI made perfect decisions, if people don't trust those decisions, the justice system fails in practice. People faith is the foundations of any democratic system. If judgment feels mechanical or robotic, that trust could erode. This argument isn't just emotional, it's a socially logical and directly tied to the statement. So argument D is strong. And the correct answer is option C. Only argument A, B, and D are strong. Well done if you got it right. There wasn't just reasoning, it was legal, ethical, and logical thinking all rolled into one. And that brings us to the end of our lesson on statement and argument. From samosa debates to courtroom dilemmas, we have seen that logic is everywhere, and strong arguments are based on clarity, relevance, and reasoning, not emotions or opinions. In the next lesson, we'll step into the world of statement and assumption, where we don't just what's said, we uncover what's hidden underneath. So let's go.